If you type in Noah Berlatsky on a search engine, such as Google, and probably other search engines, you're not going to see that there's much going on, except you'll see certain pictures of his face, which to me, I don't know, if physiognomy means anything, then these three pictures, really sort of communicate something about the man. And I'll just leave that to you to interpret. But you just sort of you don't see that there's much going on. It's kind of like if you type in Marina Abramovich, you would, and on a Google search engine or an ordinary search engine, you never would know about all the spirit cooking stuff. It's so obviously been hidden. It's been buried. They've seen to it that all the stories that people know about these people and their more notorious activities are nowhere to be found if you just type in their names. But anyway, that you all know presumably about Marina Abramovich. What about Noah Berlatsky besides the face, obviously? Well, I'm going to tell you what the deal is with Noah Berlatsky. First of all, Noah Berlatsky is one of the many mainstream journalists who has attacked the movie Sound of Freedom and said that it's a QAnon, what do they say, QAnon, a dog whistle, one of their favorite phrases, dog whistle, and that it's just fomenting hysteria about children being abused amongst far right wing Trump supporting alt right incel, whatever other kinds of ad hominem terms, whatever other terms that they've co-opted and made into ad hominem terms. But you type in his name, you just see, okay, this is the latest articles he's written about the Hollywood strike and about in an interview with him for Bloomberg. So he's very affiliated with MSNBC and Bloomberg and Washington Post and The Guardian. These are the mainstays of the legacy media, the mainstream media. Call them what you will. I call them liars. I call them the Lugan press, the lying press, because that's what they are. So here is another side of Noah Berlatsky, this writer of this film critic. It seems that he writes about movies and show business a lot. And one of the things that he has written about lately for a couple of different places, but most prominently, it seems Bloomberg, is a hit piece on Sound of Freedom. But what about this? Sound of Freedom critic. This is from EV.com. You can attack the source, but all of this is true. All of this is verifiable. If it's not true, show me where the lie is. Anyhow, it's true. To my knowledge, it's all true. And there seem to be plenty of receipts backing it up. Sound of Freedom critic for Bloomberg is a pedophile sympathizer. Again, he's not just a critic for Bloomberg. Doesn't just write for Bloomberg. He writes for the Washington Post. He contributes to MSNBC and to The Guardian, and all these various, I'll just say usual suspects. These extremely well-funded mainstream media sources that we're supposed to see as the guardians of truth against disinformation. That's how they've portrayed themselves today. That's what we're being told about them today, the way that we're supposed to think about them. Anyhow, Berlatsky condemned Sound of Freedom and linked it to QAnon. Turns out he's a pedophile sympathizer. Let's see what we got to say here. So, despite the film being based on real and harrowing events, Berlatsky suggests that critics have linked it to QAnon. His conclusion is that Sound of Freedom is a QAnon dog whistle. There's that word. That favorite word of theirs, dog whistle, that does nothing to help victims. Isn't it suspicious that mainstream media is attacking a movie raising awareness of child exploitation? Right. You'd think that would be something that they would just be like, well, yeah, we're against that too. Everybody should be against that, and we're as strongly against it as you guys are. So let's reach across the aisle and agree that children should not be sexually exploited. But that is not the case. Not only is Berlatsky facing backlash for his scathing review, he's also under fire for being a pedo sympathizer. In fact, he once served as the communication director for Prostasia, a pro-pedophilia advocacy group. All right. According to their website, Prostasia supports the Minor Attracted Persons Club, the MAPS, a notorious group that tries to normalize pedophilia. So he was a spokesman, a communications director for this group. Okay, he's not just another neoliberal writer for the Washington Post and contributor to NBC and other places. He has done active work for a pro quote unquote MAP, Minor Attracted Persons Club. Earlier this year, Redux reported that a general manager of Prostasia, Prescott Bayern, was active on a pedophilia messaging board dedicated to homosexual men who dubbed themselves boy lovers. Pedophile men sexually attracted to underage boys. Okay, so despite being motivated by a desire to eradicate child sexual abuse, the organization's efforts have dedicated themselves to crusades against child pornography bans. They're against child pornography ban. They're wanting to stop people from banning child pornography. That's doesn't sound quite right. Letter writing campaigns to state representatives demanding childlike sex dolls be kept legal. Okay, so they want to have child sex dolls be legal. And funding research into fantasy sexual outlets for pedophiles. Prostasia has also condemned anti-pedophilia sentiment as harmful Nazi-like rhetoric and called for its mass censorship across social media. Okay, so here is this a tweet from Ian Miles Chung. Why did Bloomberg commission pro-pedophilia advocate Noah Berlatsky to write a review of Sound of Freedom? Okay, good question. There's another picture of the man. He doesn't seem capable of taking a picture where you don't think, what a loathsome creep. I wonder what he's done. I wonder what vile thoughts are pouring through his mind at this very moment. Interesting how that sometimes, I'm not a fan of judging a book by its cover, but sometimes physiognomy is significant. That's all I'll say. He tweeted on June 2017, pedophiles are essentially a stigmatized group. Certain people get designated as deviants. Okay, they're a stigmatized group. They're rightly stigmatized. There's some groups it is good to stigmatize. And Berlatsky would certainly want to stigmatize the what he calls the quote unquote neo-Nazi types who want to end child pornography. So anyway, here we have a quote of his from. Let's see if it's still up. Yep, here we go. Pedophiles are essentially a stigmatized group. Certain people get designated as deviants. People hate them. You think that the reason why people hate pedophiles is because they're designated? You think people would be inclined to like pedophiles, but because they get designated as deviants, that's the reason why they're hated? I mean, I think even he knows that's not true. So, yeah. And let me see if I can find this one other thing. So here's an interesting development. Berlatsky has made his tweets private. You have to be one of his 21.7 thousand followers or I guess 40. This number is following. These number are followers. I don't know what the difference is there, but somebody, and it's not important to dwell on. But the point is, you have to be somebody that he approves now to be on his Twitter page in order to read his tweets. So I see that as a good sign that he has gotten the backlash that he very richly deserves. So just to return to the point that I was making at the beginning, type in Noah Berlatsky, and again you get this rather innocuous, anodyne, list of, he's a writer, he writes for Bloomberg, it's appeared in CNN Opinion, NBC News Think, The Independent, and other outlets. So you don't get, he is a spokesman, he was a spokesman for a pro-pedophile group, for a group that advocates for pedophilia, or advocates for pedophiles, and believes that they are wrongly stigmatized and that they should be called minor attracted persons. None of that. I wonder if the credulous readers of journals like Bloomberg and so forth, who've been brainwashed into thinking, well, this is respectable news. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I go to respectable places like Bloomberg, and they won't steer me wrong. I wonder if they know that the person writing this piece about this subject, about a movie that is opposed to child sex trafficking, and he's saying disparaging things about it, I wonder if they know these things about him. They probably don't, I'm guessing, and they should. And hopefully, even though I don't have a huge reach here, hopefully somebody will see this video and realize something, and realize that maybe there is what could be mildly called a conflict of interest in getting somebody who is pro-pedophilia to write a hit piece on a movie that is that shows the horrors of child sex trafficking. Just a thought. Let me know your comments below.